Hi everyone, I'm Karina. Now I would like to discuss about is food packaging material considered as a source of chemical food contaminant. Food packaging is not a new concept. For thousands of years, food has been stored in containers, bottles, cans, sealed wax paper bags, paperboard boxes, plastic, synthetic packaging. Therefore, food packaging is reported to be the largest growth ground for packaging material industry, given that it accounted for 300 billion USD of the overall market size in 2016 and is expected to grow further in the ensuing years. This rapid growth can be attributed to the robust consumptions of ready-to-eat meals, frozen raw milk, product, dairy products, and canned sea products. According to the result obtained in 2012, the most food packaging have been utilized were plastic, paper, and board. In increasing the characteristic of food packaging, certain chemicals are being used. Today, up to 6,000 different chemicals are utilized in food packaging, some linked to chronic diseases. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention confirmed more than 11,000 foodborne infections in 2013, with several chemicals and agents causing food contamination. There are thousands of chemicals in food contact material that can potentially migrate into food or drink, and some are hazardous. Consumers tend to assume that they are protected from harmful chemicals in food and drinks packaging. In fact, current food packaging law on food contact material is not fully effective in protecting public health. Then why is food packaging necessary? Packaging makes food more convenient and gives the food greater safety assurance from microorganisms, biological, chemical changes that the packaged food can enjoy a longer shelf life. As a result, packaging becomes an indispensable element in the food manufacturing process. In order to meet the huge demand of the food industry, there was a remarkable growth in the development of food packaging in the past decades. There are various types of food packaging material, which are plastic, consists of polyethylene, polypropylene, PVC, and others. Glass consists of containers, jars. Metal consists of steel, tin, aluminum, wood, cupboards, and paper. Then, what is chemical contamination? It is a clear indication of the presence of chemicals where they should not be, or the presence of an amount that is higher than its attribute as safe. The chemical hazards are one of the main causes of food contamination that are associated with foodborne disease outbreak and pose serious health risks. Food productions, packaging, and preparations are a long route, in which each stage has a potential source of chemical contaminant infections of the food. Chemicals from the packaging are especially likely to migrate into food or liquids when they are exposed to high temperature and fatty foods or liquids. Several examples of the chemical migrations: the IPN from packaging made of recycled paper, aromatic amines from laminated plastic, ITX from inks on cupboards or plastic, BPA from plastic container, plasticized jar gasket, ESBO phthalates SEM. There are several issues discussed this day. First, the utilizations of recycled plastic in food packaging, which considered as chemical contamination. Nowadays, there is a great deal of interest in using the recycled plastic as the food packaging, especially when it's sourced from polymeric materials, usually food containers. However, there might be a chance of getting issues as projected by FDA, which are the contaminants from the post-consumer material that may appear in the final food contact product made from the recycled material, recycled post-consumer material not regulated for food contact use may be incorporated into food contact packaging. The last, the adjuvants in the recycled plastic may not comply with the regulations for food contact use. In order to address this concern, FDA had prepared a document entitled Guidance for Manufacturers of Food Packaging in Evaluating Processes for Recycling Plastic into Food Packaging. The guidance described the chemical contaminant does not exceed 1.5 microgram per day of estimated daily intake, increasing the number of recommended options for surrogate contaminants for use in evaluating a recycling process, eliminate the phthalate content in the recycled packaging, providing the recommendations to process the recycling plastic from the non-food application. Other than the recycled plastic issues, food packaging, also known as a source of DEHP and BPA, as reported by the Environmental Health Perspective in 2011. The results showed that when people reduce the consumptions of foods that have been packaged, the level of DEHP and BPA in their bodies decreased significantly. Thus, what is phthalates? Phthalates are esters of phthalic acid, which classified as synthetic organic chemicals. It is usually used in food packaging, such as high molecular weight phthalates that classified as non-toxic for human health, low molecular weight phthalates, such as DEHP, that classified as very dangerous. Then, why phthalates are added in food packaging? Phthalates are used in food packaging to increase the durability, strength, resistance, and flexibility. Most commonly, phthalates are added in PVC and polypropylene plastic. How toxic are phthalates? Phthalates form loose and reversible bonds with PVC. Then phthalates escape from this loose bond into the food material, and therefore increasing public health concern. DEHP directly affects food, especially bread, meat, fat, foods, and dairy products. It becomes toxic because the tolerable daily intake of DEHP is 0.05 mg per day, with a lot of packaged food consumptions with DEHP content may make people exceed the recommended reference dose. It is classified as a substance toxic to reproductions and result in the liver tumor and pancreatic tumors. Removing the DEHP from food packaging can significantly decrease exposure for adults and children. On the other hand, BPA material is used to make certain plastic coating used on the insides of aluminum and metal cans, and the lid closure of glass jars and bottles. Next, what is the risk of BPA? BPA is classified as the endocrine disrupting chemicals that are associated with various diseases such as hormonal cancers, reproductive problems, metabolic disorder, asthma, neurodevelopmental conditions. Because of this exposure to the public health, FDA has finalized its BPA ruling in June 2014, indicating BPA can no longer be used in beverages packaged in bottles, especially for kids and infant product and infant formula packaging. But actually, BPA exposure level was really low as the amount migrate from food packaging into foods or beverages are very low. But because of the plenty consumptions of products with BPA materials packaged, the amount become higher and result in various diseases. However, these days, many food manufacturers have been claimed no BPA content in their product packaging to secure the exposure. In conclusion, food packaging is yes contributed in the chemical food contaminations, but not all food packaging are considered, as it depends on the chemicals used and the dosage utilized. To minimize the exposure of the chemical food contaminations, other than manufacturers that have to take considerations in the process and follow the regulations, us as a consumer also can be aware on those chemicals. During the shopping time, we should pay attention on these logos, like BPA-free, phthalate-free, non-toxic, oxo-biodegradable plastic. Some of the food products have this symbol in their packaging, especially for infant and kid products. However, in Asia, these logos are still rare to find. Thus, we can see from the code appearing on the packaging, code number 3, 6, and 7 are considered as hazardous and need to be avoided. A resin code of 7 indicated that the container may be made of high amount BPA containing plastic. These codes are usually available on the food and beverages packaging and at the bottom of the bottles. That's all for the presentation. Thank you.